Video. This is the first startup here, and I have lost literally two games before even starting my campaign and like dropped my rating. And I think I just didn't even resign in this position. So let's resign and let's start a new 10-minute game. There we go. With the white pieces, we're gonna start with e4. e5, we're gonna play knight f3. Knight f6, I'm gonna go for a Lopez. Just a quick Lopez here. I'm getting a feeling that maybe. Oh yes, Spanish counter gambit. Can we take here? Yeah, there's nothing wrong in taking here, I think, because we can immediately develop a knight here and attack the queen with tempo. It's not like a martial counterattack, which is pretty provocative, but I mean, he blunders the queen, man. This is not a good way to start, and if he takes the bishop, he's gonna get forked. Yeah, there we go. I think this was an easier run. Yeah. All right, that was a miniature. Good finish, and I think nothing to review in that game. Uh, let's have some engine analysis from this point. You're good at this point, but after that you place d4, which is it is pretty weak, to be honest. The reason of its weakness is that it's not like martial gambit. It's you're not developed and you're just trying to counter in the center. So I can just take here. What I did, and if the queen takes, he just blunders, and it's game over. Let's have a new 10-minute. Again with the white pieces. Let's go for e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6. Now let's again play the Lopez. It's going to be a speedrun. Oh, that's the old Chinese. We're just going to castle. I'm not worried about this bishop d4 pin. Knight f6, rook e1. Just defends that solidly. Oh, yes, this pin is pretty annoying. And let's just play c3. Continue developing in nice fashion. Bishop e7, now he's looking to castle. But the point is we can just play d4. Yeah. Yeah, d4 is a very good. Now takes basically he can castle, but we get a very good center. And I think that is the best thing in possible is to get a very good center. And now his knight is stuck. I mean, it's at c. Knight e5 is the most active looking. Other alternative is knight b4, which I have to mention. And now the center is pretty cooked up, locked in. Now the pressure on my knight is increasing without doubt. So what should we do in this position? I think bishop e2 is the correct move. Because now our bishop hasn't to do anything. Uh, yeah, I've lost a lot of rating, but 8-6. Now I can just take the knight. And now he's play that intermezzo bishop takes. And after queen takes, I think we have a pretty solid chance of doing whatever we want. Which piece should I take? If that's the question, I think we should definitely take the queen in this position. No doubt that's just the nature of the position that tells me I think we should take the queen. Let's take the queen, I mean. It takes. And what we get here is a pretty nice control of the center, of the key squares. You get such a good control. Knight b to d2. I think let's just put our knight back to f1 in order to challenge the contest of the central pawn. That's important. Not just that we are over defending this position, but I mean we have to play good. It's a bit noisy, but still. Now he's trying to break in the center, which I'm not going to fall into. Like say, all right, take the center. We're going to play knight f3 and exploit his e5 pawn. That's weak. Yeah, he's trying to defend with the bishop, but can we play a good move here? Um, a good move here in this position would be. Oh, Now I'm pretty feeling pretty cramped in this position. That is for true. Unless play bishop e3. I've gambited a pawn, but for no bad reason. I'm gonna get the pawn back. It's an MBG to get the pawn back in this position. I can't play well actually in this position. I don't know why, but I can't focus well. Uh, yeah, what can I do in this position? That's a fair question. Sacrificing the bishop is no option. I think I don't know why rook c1 looks pretty count playing move. I think it's a very strong move. I think rook c1. Now we can just take with the bishop, and you can recapture with the bishop, which I didn't thought about. How stupid of me. You can take with the queen and we're equal. I don't know if he would get back to defend that piece. Yeah, that's well, that's a what do you call it? It's not a good way of defending that. You can just take it. And yes, I do expect that move. And then we can probably, can we raise this pawn down? Can we raise it? If d6, then d8, rook d8, and then d7. I have no idea. But he blundered a queen, so I'm not even worried about that. I just saw it right now. Now we are actually in leading position. Thank goodness I saw that, otherwise I was gonna get doomed. And now I think we should push that pawn towards the racing position, because now you play a move like b6 in order to defend or do something, but I have no idea. Let's see. He resigns. Yeah, fair enough. Let's go to the analysis real quick. This is all standard theory. We're pretty good at this position. I play rook e1, bishop e7, c6. This is all. I think this is in theory. Is theory. Castles and then this move point. A precious point, and this was a critical defense. I had one game before in which I didn't play this and I got double pawn structure. So I think this is a critical defensive square. You don't want this line to happen. Like for example, you play a forcing move like h3, bishop takes, then you have to take back with a pawn, and you get a ugly structure with a minus evaluation. You'd never want that to happen in your game. And now the attack is there. The queens haven't traded off of the board, so the attack is there. This is not even equal position. Anyways, back to the game, back to the pavilion. After castling, knight goes here. We play the correct move, and h6. That's a good move actually. And then I play the move knight takes. That is all right. Queen takes was good actually. That's good. Knight to d2. That was again sensible, but that's weak. That's weak because not I get knight f1, but there was a better move there. Bishop e7, and here I blundered. Here I blundered. I had this in my mind. Here I made a serious mistake and gave away the winning edge. And now the position is equal. A bit better, but equal, because now every resource is being defended. Knight takes, then I take with the bishop, and it's actually losing because knight takes. Knight takes. It's losing. I blundered. You can mark this as a blunder. This move was a blunder. That was a blunder. But he takes back with the bishop, and it's still fine because I missed the resource. Bishop takes. Wow. But he didn't do that. He just went on with the defensive thought, and this move was also wrong. Why was this move wrong? Because I think we had probably stuff like maybe rookie one. Yeah, rookie one. That's right. I'm guessing the moves, but I didn't calculate these in real time. And now, position is winning. Takes, queen takes, and now he blunders the queen and he resigns. It has been a good game. Let's see how much time we have. Oh, 9 minutes. Actually, it's a quick analysis of these miniatures. Let's have a third game. And we have the black pieces. Backborder from champion division. Good luck. D4 D5. I'm going to play D4 D5. Whatever. And now he's going for kind of like an accelerated Catalan. Should I play a Queen's Gambit reversed? I think I should play a Queen's Gambit reversed. Boom. Bombastic control of the center. Bishop e7. That is being attacked. Let's defend with a knight. Maybe he's going to add more pressure. But we are good, I think. Now he's like being obstinate and defending that piece. I can just clamp down the center. I don't have any objection in doing that. And well, now I can also take the c5 pawn whenever I want. C3. He's trying to kind of dismantle away, eat away that center. But let's just take with the bishop. Yeah, it's fine. The pawn takes. I'm gonna go for pawn takes, and then we are actually threatening to take on b2, and he has to defend that against with knight c3. And if knight c3 takes, it's a check, and then he must take back there. Let me explain the lines, which I'm just blabbering out. Yeah. Now if I take in this position, now if I take here, it's a check. He must take, but then queen takes, and rook takes, and I castle, and he can take with the bishop. I can take with the pawn. So the line isn't so easy to calculate. That's the point. It's a pretty complex line, I would say. But let's. This position would be relatively equal, but I think what's the risk? Let's play this position down. Let's just play it, man. What's the risk? Take with the queen. Rook takes is the move. Castle short. And if it doesn't take with the knight, yeah, I was surprised if it wouldn't take there. Enough now to secure before getting this bishop out to do its rally parade. Uh, I'm gonna play this game for a draw. I think it's pretty passive position. It's not rich at all. He can castle, and it's gonna be just squeamish kind of endgame. Oh, he's trying to find a good outpost there on f6, which is I kind of like. Otherwise, there's nothing much as you can consider the juice in this position. I'm gonna play this move. Bishop e6, very good. I think it attacks the a2 pawn. A4 is a good way to defend. A3, yeah, that's also fine. And now let's just trade off this pair of rooks. I do feel that trading off would help me in this position. Let's trade off a pair of rooks. If he ignores, I mean, we can just try to double the rooks. That's going to be a strategy. Why not? Yeah. And now we are playing a bishop versus knight game, but bishops of same color. Oh. And at this point, we got a pretty great move. That's rook to d2. Rook to d2, then he plays rook e1. But if he plays rook e1, that's a different story. If he plays rook e1, we will see about that. But I can overload the piece easy. It's gonna be easy fine. But of course, you can defend with bishop f3 with critical defensive resource. But these are things of future. Oh yeah, totally, yeah, that resource which I didn't saw. But that's not my mistake. It is my mistake, but kind of be sincere. Yeah, let's play with attacking. But he can just put the rook on dog squares. Now it's about consolidating your pieces on dog squares in this game, but I think the game is going to be. And all right, what does he want to do in this position? I have no idea. But my strategy is going to be putting all the pieces on the dog square. And let's start the strategy by putting our knight on a4. Then we can put the pawn on b6. And then we're going to have a pretty solid position overall to work with. And he can even attack the rook. And if rook gets attacked, then he has to move on a. He gets a pretty good outpost, that's true. But what would be able to make of that outpost? He could go to d6 and then threaten my bishop. But before that, yeah, he can go to d6, threaten my bishop. He can go to h6 and give me a check. But after that, we would see that. But I mean, checks aren't really important. They're irrelevant at this position. I think he's going to go knight a6 check. It's a pretty beginner trade. And we're going to go f8. So he can't deliver any further checks. And he can't annoy us. Checks are annoying. Simple. Simple, simple. They're annoying. They are so annoying. This game is going equal, and we are still pretty much ahead in time. Uh, I don't know how would I extract a winning edge of this position. I do think I would be able to do it, but only time will tell. Rook to b2. Rook to b2 isn't going to. Oh wait a minute, it's a blunder because bishop to d3 is a fork. Knight a6 check defends that fork beautifully, and king f8, and then the rook can escape. Wow, this is a rich position. Let's just play it. Just for the sake of the position, let's play it. Knight a6 check. This is a very good move. It's not advanced. Yeah, this move does the similar purpose. Yeah, it serves a similar purpose, but king h8 this time, and now he can defend his rook. That's a good move to find. But the thing is, his rook is stuck on the back rank. He must realize that fact. Oh, he didn't realize his rook is stuck on the back rank. But check takes. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, I realize it. I realize I learned this from Naroditsky video. A concept that I'm going to just apply now with the check. He can defend with the bishop, but no, this is important moment. This is important, guys. Listen. This is very important moment. The turning position of the game. Now we're not going to take with the rook here because after that the king has an escape square. You're going to take with the bishop because of that. If the king tries to escape, it's a mate. So we're gonna do that. But are we gonna get mated in the same time? I don't know. Let's take with the bishop. Now he must defend against mate in one by playing a move like this, trying to escape. And now I think he won't play that move. It's a pretty advanced concept in this checkmate. Oh my lands. All right. Maybe I'm wrong, but we have a significant winning lead here. A checker. I don't want to get my bishop like running like a foolish stag, but we'll see. Uh, where should I place my bishop? That's a very good question. I think bishop e2. His all pawns are dark square. But now we don't have any weaknesses here because his bishop is gone to I don't know where, but it is gone. And this check, he has the only move in this position after this check, that is king to h2. But so king to h2 exists. I'm not gonna just reject the thesis that this move has no existence at all. And then we are gonna play in a style. There you go. King h2 exists. Uh, all set. And now I think we can win that h2 pawn back real quick. Can we? Delightful question is, can we? Let's play this move. What's gonna happen? Oh, what? He's trying to mate me in this position. Do I have a way of escaping out of the mate? Yeah, I have multiple ways of escaping out of the mate. But before this, he has to escape my checker. But he can attack my. Oh my lands! He can attack my rook. I have to give away a rook in this position. I was thinking about that. Oh, well, actually, I can defend in this position. Sorry for being dramatic. I can defend in this position very well enough. That's the thing. Always find critical defensive resources. It's not a big deal to find one. So now I can escape easily out of the out of the mouth of death. So he's thinking 428. Yeah, we are down on time. We are critically down on time. I think we should get our knight there and start a massive attack on the king. Because I think his pieces can't do much, except he can play rook a1, but I don't know what's the utility because we can just play knight to c4. Oh, he's threatening our bishop. Yeah, that's great. Great thinking. Uh, really, I have to appreciate him for his thinking. But if he takes, yeah, his king is not going to get forked. On if and only if, or yeah, it's just a very stupid thing to say that his king would get forked. Yeah, we're going to move our bishop here, and I'm going to try to, just try to get something out of the position. I think I should start to get my rooks into the function. Rook a1 I think is a good move here because that wins the pawn for sure if he doesn't defend that. If he Because he can't push that pawn, he can't defend that pawn with any convincing means. So I think we're good in this position. Yeah, it's very advanced. I think I'm not that strong like a grandmaster would explain, but I think we're doing a pretty good job here. Uh, Knight a4. What does that do? I have no idea what does that do. Basically, it's a pretty GM-ish move. It is just a blunder. A. So we're going to take. I have no objection to taking a blunder piece. I mean, that's just ungratefulness if you don't take one. And now I think we have practical winning chances in this position. And he's sacrificing everything, and he resigns. GG. That's a good game. Let's just turn the your so-called engine. This game is very good to analyze. Position is equal. We start off with a accelerated Catalan, which is equal. Then we play a reverse Queen's Gambit in response, and he fianchettos his bishop. No, this is negative. Yeah, I mean, I gave him an advantage. What was the best move to take? Yeah, take was the best move. I felt it, but I didn't really believe in my guts. Takes. This was best. Knight to c3, and taking here equalizes the game. I knew it would equalize the game, but I just took the risk. I said, let's play for a draw. I'm a bit tired of like traveling 300 kilometers, so I think it's all good. And now queens have been traded, and I'm pretty good at simplified endgames. And now we just started playing like masters in this position, masters of the game. Rook trade, beautiful. Rook e2, he defends with the pawn, and now things were falling apart. And then I placed the I try to make get his rook escape out. Rook c1, trying to do something. I played knight here, pawn here. Yeah, this game is equal until this point. But this was a blunder. Why? Because he could win. Instead of what should I have done? Like, what should I do in this position? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I just forgot that this was a move and he couldn't go anywhere. Oh, I this was a mistake. This was a fatal blunder from me, and the game is still equal. But how? I have no idea, no clue whatsoever. How is this game equal? Oh, I didn't want to go there. Sorry. Let's just go there pretty quick and check. This was yes, that's why it was winning. I found the correct solution. Yeah, and now we are just playing masterclass game with complete dominance. And this was not even the best move. I have no idea why. Maybe there was a better move. I took the rook, and then he just sacrificed the rook, and it's a mate and 9 moves. Well, folks, I'm a bit tired. Couldn't do well explanation. I did think these game were easy on their own, so I couldn't do any advanced explanation. Thanks for watching, and I would catch up soon with some blitz games. Until that, see you later.